Hey all, Ryan Clowley here. So for the speech I'm choosing to briefly review, it is that of Massachusetts Congressman Joseph Kennedy, yes, of that Kennedy family, introducing Elizabeth Warren at the 2016 Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia, which seems like a million years ago. So what was very interesting, or at least what I found very interesting, was that Representative Kennedy, while of a famous family, never once doubted that because the speech wasn't about him. The speech was about Senator Warren and about a personal connection he had with Senator Warren from back when he was obtaining his JD from Harvard. Elizabeth Warren was still a professor there. That was her profession prior to running for the Senate back in 2012, before she unseated Scott Brown. And he talked about how tough of a professor she was, how she, you know, graded you to a T, made sure that you were doing everything, which is, of course, apropos for somebody teaching at Harvard, let alone somebody teaching at Harvard who would later become a senator. But one interesting, very poignant phrase he said is that the line was out the door. I'm paraphrasing. The line was out the door to sign up for Elizabeth Warren's class, and it showed how effective she was because he acknowledged that the speech is not about him. It's not about, what he stands for. It's about introducing, by all intents and purposes, a leader in the United States, a leader in the Democratic Party, certainly. And he acknowledged that, and he used a personal story to convey that message, to show that message, to make it more human, which definitely relates more to the audience. I remember when I was watching this live on television back in the summer of 2016. I had many questions, and I mean that in a good way. It seemed that when I say I have many questions, I mean that it was very personal, and I wanted to know more about, both Joseph Kennedy's experience at the university, as well as Elizabeth Warren as a professor. It humanized her to an extent, and I think that's, pardon me, one of the main goals of delivering a speech is humanizing the speaker, making sure that they're not necessarily a mythological figure, but somebody of relevance. And speech-wise, it wasn't he wasn't using exponentially large words. It was words everybody was familiar of, even though this happened at Harvard. So all in all, this is one of the better campaign introduction speeches I've certainly seen, as it truly humanized both Senator Warren and Representative Kennedy.